This begins a Demm report.
Well, an ugly story out of New Mexico, and it started out reasonably. 74-year-old Cheryl Grabe says she and her husband Kenny invited some neighbors over last Friday night. 5 people in all were in the house, and according to everyone involved, there was a lot of drinking. Multiple bottles of wine emptied. But according to everyone, they'd not been together for 2 years. I don't know if it was distance, COVID, a little bit of both. So 2 people left the party around midnight, but the Grabes and one other neighbor continued drinking well into the next morning. That third person was a 53-year-old female. Now, the Grabes are in their 70s. The 53-year-old female decided she was going to spend the night at the Grabes. And like the Demms, she sleeps in the altogether.
Nude.
So she was in the guest room, undressed, fully nude. Well, here comes drunk Kenny.
I don't know about sleeping nude in somebody's guest room. You know?
It's a little odd.
That's a little out
It's
there.
a little out there. I tend not to do that.
Oh, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, you got to leave something on.
I tend to leave my PJ bottoms on.
Thank you.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
You're putting your nether regions all over somebody's good sheets.
Yeah.
Well, you assume they're going to be washed.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but are you?
Even still, it's just like, I don't know about this.
Maybe you are, but some people aren't.
Well, go ahead. I was going to say, a friend of mine tells me he loves to stay in the other
Sleep in their beds and have sex.
And have sex.
Yeah, he loves to have sex. When he says, if I won't say who it is, but he says, when I visit you and stay in your guest room, we're having sex.
No, you better wash those sheets, bro.
That's what he does. He saes we always have sex when we go to somebody else's house. He loves it. Like, it's like a new adventure for him.
It's different, though. I mean,
This is a recital at a school. Let's not talk about that.
He always tells
having
me
sex in a bed or on a bed, but sleeping naked in it for 8 hours. It's 2 different things. In my mind,
You think
which would you rather have?
have them have sex and then
really?
and sleep. Yeah,
I'd rather be sleep naked.
Yeah.
really.
Well, sex, you've got all the
Yeah, but when you're sleeping at night, I mean, think of all the things you do at night when you're sleeping.
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean,
Nothing's going to leak into the mattress.
You don't know that.
Well, you don't have that big a wet spot.
No, but I mean, if he's got no,
I'm in the room.
he's got no underwear on. He passes gas in the damn bed.
Well,
There's
yeah,
no
but
layer there between him and the sheets.
But you're doing that anyway, and you're having sex.
But
You have sex, you're going to have,
I know, and usually
I mean,
people,
if you do it right.
There's going to be fluid.
well, that we know. Well, where's it going?
I feel I have.
And you can clean up after that. People don't clean up after they sleep.
But no.
Well, right, but
You know what we do? We strip the bed. If we stay at someone else's house, my wife and I went on our last day. We stripped the bed, put all the sheets in a pile.
Well, yeah.
But y'all don't sleep naked at other people's places.
No.
What about a hotel?
Hotel, yeah.
And you don't strip the bed?
No,
Hotel?
that's a little
not
different.
there. That's someone
Of course
else's
not.
job.
I
But
don't
if we
know.
were when my parents were living, if we'd stayed there, we'd have just stripped the bed.
Right. And then and the sheets are going to be washed either way. And I don't like either. But I really don't like sex in the bed.
Yeah.
What about sex and then not putting your underwear back on after sex and sleeping in the bed
Horrible.
and sleeping naked the rest of the
It's
night?
the worst. That's
Now
the
you're getting all kinds of
Yeah,
fluids
then you've
and
got
juices.
this
Yeah.
and that. You know how you are after you have sex. You're all like, ugh, gross. What is that?
Now, what is that?
But then your underpants are stuck to you in the morning.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's between you and your fabric and not.
Lose.
Oh, God, you're right. Then you go pee.
I'm hitting the wall.
It's horrible. It's
terrible.
horrible. You ever do that? You're like,
We're filthy.
my God.
We are filthy
are.
creatures.
Filthy humans.
God.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. This guy told me before I had sex, and I was probably 16, and he was talking about having sex with his girlfriend. He goes, after you have sex and you have that thing, you have to go clean it off. And I was like, yeah. and then he started telling me the story about how he had to clean up himself after having sex. And then he was about 5 minutes into the story, and he's like, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Fast forward 10 years.
Oh, I got it. Finally, I got it.
I know what he's talking about now.
Exactly. Finally, you figured out. I almost called him.
Yeah.
You know, you were telling me.
Remember that time?
Yeah, remember that?
It happened.
Yeah. All these guys in Glee Club used to tell me their sex stories.
Glee Club.
Yeah. And now I look back and I'm like, really? Were you
Wait a
in
minute.
Glee Club having sex with some of the altos?
Glee boys,
I don't
they're
think so.
they're the worst liars.
They must have been. Well, one of them told me about it. I shouldn't even say it. About an ice water. You know, you have the girl crunch up ice and then do it. And I've always thought, did he really have that done when he was like 17? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen him at the reunions.
Nope.
Don't know. Although his wife,
she was known as the Ice Princess.
She's always getting
All the
extra.
drinks are on the rocks.
All the drinks.
She loves the movie Frozen.
Exactly. But he did tell me. I mean, I got a lot of those Glee stories, man. Oh,
Yeah.
the Glee.
Well,
You should write a book.
Those are for another day.
Yes.
All the time talking about that. Anyway, talking about sex.
So back to New Mexico, back to the Graves home. Here comes old drunk Kenny into the room, caressing the naked female guest. She says, "Kenny, what are you doing?" Ken called out Cheryl's name. He said, "Cheryl, get in here," to his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here comes Cheryl, 74-year-old Cheryl, and she's got a gun in her hand. No. So she shot Ken right there, and he slumped lifeless onto the naked neighbor. Yeah, killed him. Killed him dead.
That's ugly.
The naked lady crawled out a bathroom window, but not before taking a bullet to her shoulder.
Damn.
To her credit, Cheryl called 911 herself.
She did.
The cops were able to take her downtown, but she's been charged with murder and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
You got to wash those sheets for sure.
Ooh, we do now.
I think it's bonfire time.
They got to throw them out.
That's worse than all that. All we talked about.
So did she think that they were cheating? Is that why she came in gun toting? I guess?
think she thought that Kenny was cheating.
I think he was going to. He was going in there. Right?
Well, he was drunk.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
He might have very
Well,
well.
I don't know if he thought that there was sparking during the drunk.
God, 74 years old, too.
Packing.
I thought it would be younger. I thought it would be like 34 years old.
Yeah.
Boy, and that's it. She's probably going to go to jail forever for the
You
rest
would
of her
think.
life. Yeah,
You would
that's it.
certainly think
That's
so.
it for her.
More senseless violence. Friends and family members said farewell to 41-year-old Bo Olvik last week. He's about to start an 8-year stretch in the Montana State Penitentiary after getting into a bar fight last year. Olvik is a truck driver, and in March of 2020, he had stopped at a bar and lounge in the America's Best Value Inn in the town of Rocker. There was another guy at the bar who was in town doing some construction work, and the two had words. The topic, Oklahoma Sooners college football.
That's your team.
It is. The construction worker, the out-of-town guy, is an Oklahoma fan. Bo is not. Words were exchanged, and something about, they don't know anything about Oklahoma. I don't know football in Oklahoma.
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then evidently the guest said something about Bo's cowboy boots, which to my understanding, I've not seen them. My understanding is they're a bluish leather cowboy boot. And the construction worker said, "Where'd you get them blanking cowboy boots?" I don't know what expletive he said. Bo said, "From your mom." At that point, the bartender said, "All right, fellas, it's time to clear out."
That's it. Yeah.
That's not how we do things at the America's Best Value Bar and Grill.
Right.
Who knew that there was one?
Well, that's fighting words there from your mom.
It is. I got
Hey.
these boots from your mom.
Not here in the America's Best Value Bar Inn and Grill.
So the two had rooms there at the America's Best Value, and so Bo followed the other guy there, pulled a gun, made the guy get down on his knees, put the gun to his head, and then pistol whipped him. He did not pull the trigger.
God.
Then he beat and kicked the guy on his way back into his hotel room to the tune of the construction worker suffered 3 broken ribs, broken jaw, broken nose, and still has vision issues with one eye. More than a year later, Bo's attorney tried to argue self-defense. The judge wasn't buying it. He sentenced him to 8 years. Bo is in his late 30s and weighs 245. The guy who got beat up is 59 and weighs 130.
Oh, my God.
I guess he would get beat up.
That's like me against you. There's no.
Exactly.
This is
Yeah.
terrible.
And you're armed.
Oh, and I'm armed with him. Pistol whipped him. So much violence over Oklahoma Sooner football.
And boots.
And come on,
Boots and football.
Come on now. You better than that.
And finally, if you own a portable generator, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission would like you to go check on the brand before you lose a finger. The Generac company, my neighbors have a Generac, but it's a whole house.
It's a number one in the business, at least.
I hear that name all the time, but
Yeah.
Generac has recalled several different gas-powered portable generators after 8 what they call significant incidents. That translates into 7 amputated fingers and 1 mangled finger.
God.
Mangled. So they say if you've got Generac, stop and use it immediately. They've been sold everywhere for 8 years. Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon, Costco, and others. The problem is an unlocked handle can pinch your finger against the generator frame if you move it. If you insert the locking pin you're safe to move it. But I guess not everybody is doing it that way.
Well, but they have the locking pin comes with the Generac, but they're
I
not.
don't know the answer to that. I don't know anything about generators.